Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week I am going to show you Memories of the 80s, which is a collection that I painted for this month. Every month I do a collection of memories that I paint with watercolor in my little sketchbook, which if you've watched the flip through video you know already, but if this is the first time you found me, first of all, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe, but maybe let me prove myself before you do that. Basically this is my memory sketchbook. I think I've decided to call it a memory sketchbook because it is literally what it is. We're gonna go with that for a little bit. Hopefully it sticks and hopefully it makes sense when you see more videos. But every month I paint a collection of memories of a location, like a city or state or country, or memories of like an era or a time. So I've painted memories of the 90s and springtime and snow days and things like that. So today I want to share with you memories of the 80s, which was my August theme for Patreon. Typically from those collections of paintings I make a print and some stickers that I send to my patrons who have signed up to the snail mail tier, and then all the other patrons and members who are on there either for free or for a paid subscription. Thank you if you're a patron, by the way. I share all the behind the scenes of how I come up with them, how I make them, and any other part of my business. So not just this, but this is probably the biggest chunk of what my business basically is. So I am going to share with you these images that I made, and I'm going to talk through my thoughts and the reason for choosing the ones that I chose. So I wanted to give enough time in case anybody who watches wants to be able to join and have this collection for themselves, like to receive the Sandra mail for yourself. I thought it makes more sense to share it earlier, so if anybody wants to have this, they can sign up to that on Patreon. So if you are interested, the link to my Patreon will be in the description. See if you like what it is before you decide to sign up. But I will show you a close-up of every single painting, but I mean I'm obsessed with them. I think they turned out really well, and I'm a little bit obsessed with them. But I also am biased because, well, I made them. So I'm testing out different formats of telling you about the memories. So sometimes you'll be in flip through format, sometimes it'll be like this, more of like a vloggy style with b-roll, and other times it might just be like a story time. So this will be like part vlog, part story time. So let's just go. So the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket, this red jacket, if you are an 80s kid or even a 90s kid, it was still around. I didn't have one. I really wanted one, but I didn't have one. I was very small in the 80s. Actually, I was probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6. But if you have no clue about this, I'm very sorry. I don't know if this is the place for you. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. This one is from Michael Jackson's music video Thriller. In the video he wears this top and bottom red leather, black and red ensemble thing, and it's basically like a leather jacket and leather pants. I think I remember spending very many hours trying to learn the steps to Thriller and dancing all over the house and looking for wigs to put on to disguise ourselves into those zombies that come out. Yeah, Michael Jackson, I had to include that in here because I guess it was a huge part of the 80s for me. So he's in here. The fanny pack, oh my gosh, the fanny packs, they were everywhere. They made a lot of noise. Everybody had them when I was in school, well into the 90s actually. I would say, like, I remember them in the 80s, and in the 90s it was still kind of around, like in the beginning, like early 90s. I feel like it was still a little bit around, but in French it's called banane, but the French word banane also is banana. So I don't really know why we call it a banana because it's like, it's a fanny pack in English, and I think my friends in the UK told me it's called a, oh man, I'm gonna forget this again, a bum bag. Is it a bum bag? It's a something bag. Sorry, my kids are here too, so what the skibbity he says, and I concur. Anyway, I remember vividly how much I disliked these things. So this isn't actually like a fond memory, but it's just a funny memory of a thing that was so like prevalent, if that's the right word, but I strongly did not like. yeah. And of course I try to sneak in my color as often as I can into everything. So next were the roller skates. So I learned to skate in Germany. So again, I was probably between 9 and 12. I lived in Germany when I was 8, 9, 10 and 11. I want to say my last birthday, no, I celebrated 11. My last birthday I celebrated in Germany was 11. We lived in Berlin. We actually lived in East Berlin. Someday I think I'll paint Memories of Berlin because I have been seeing it a lot recently. My sister's there right now on vacation. My brother went a few months ago, so I haven't been back since we left, and I would love to go back. But anyway, I remember wanting to learn how to skate, and I didn't own my own pair, but there was a really nice girl who was kind of a neighbor, not really neighbor, like building neighbor. Wherever we lived was at the number 16, and there was one more 20. It was 18 and a 20, I think, and then a break. So there was like a big grass field which we played soccer, then behind it was like a playground and a basketball court, which my brother told me now is a tennis court. Anyway, and so this girl lived in the next building over, but we would find each other at that park a lot, and we played together there a lot. And I used to see her just skate all over, and it was like, man, this girl could fly. And I remember just like wanting to know how, and she got a new pair one time. I saw her with new skates, and I was like, oh, you've got new roller skates? I really wish I had some. I still don't have my own. So she gave me her old pair. They didn't fit well, they were a little painful, but I have these little memories of her like on the sidewalk holding my hand up and helping me. This is before knee pads also, by the way, so I've got a lot of scars from this on my knees and scrapes and stuff because I fell so many times. But I remember her teaching me how to use the brakes, like the little thing in the front that put your foot forward, and helped me to figure out my balance and all that. And once I got it, I was up and down that street a lot. So yeah, I never went to a rink. However, I saw that in a lot of movies after moving to the US, and was like, man, I wish I'd gone to a thing like this. This would have been amazing. I would have loved this. But yeah, sadly. Okay, I'm gonna hurry up because kids are up and chatty now. So the next one is the controller for Atari. So I didn't have an Atari. We had a Sega initially. No, I'm lying. My friends downstairs, so we were on the 5th floor in building 16, right in the 16th entry of the building, and I had friends on the 2nd floor, and those guys were from the Philippines. It was two brothers and a younger sister, and they had an Atari. No, they had an Atari and a Sega. And that year my dad bought my brother, but really all of us, a Nintendo and a few games, Super Mario Brothers, Ninja Turtles, and I think another one which I can't remember this very second. I feel like there was another game, but potentially it was just those two to get us started. So we would alternate. We would go to the 2nd floor and play all the Sega games, like, you know, all of the space shooting war games. There was one that was my favorite, but I can't remember the name of it at all. However, I still remember the code to skip levels, to pass left, right, up, down, A, B. If you know the game, tell me in the comments, because I cannot remember for the life of me. And I'm pretty sure that was on Nintendo because of the controller. Remember that gray controller? Yeah, I remember having like a huge crush on the boy downstairs. What was his name? JB. We called him JB. I have no idea what it stood for, but it was JB, Edsel, and Malaika. That was the girl. Yeah, anyway, I picked Atari because I think that was the first thing that started everything. I'm sure it wasn't, but I feel like that was the first one that I heard of, and I was like, what's an Atari? And I'm pretty sure the first game that I played was on the Atari, and it was the one where you would just kind of shoot, like going like this, and it was shooting in space. Yeah, those are good memories. And then obviously Pac-Man, which everybody had. Pac-Man, I mean, everybody's played Pac-Man. If you haven't, go play Pac-Man. The OG one with like the little ghosties that were following you, and then you were eating all these little, I don't know, gumballs or whatever they are, and the fruit to get more points. And then if you land on a Powerball, I think it's called, I don't know, also because a lot of this stuff I knew them in French when I was little, so I don't know if that's what they're called in English, so please don't come for me. But whenever you would eat like a larger one of those gumball looking things, you would be like powered up, and you could go faster, and you could eat the ghosts, like you could actually chase after the ghosts. So I always thought it was fun. So I had to include some of the gaming part of my memories. For the people who truly understand the 80s, if you lived through a fraction of it, even a fraction of the early 90s, because we still did cassette tapes before the CDs came out. We were all still listening to music on there, and even after, for a little bit, we were just like, it's still not the same. Like, you could just hit record and record on this thing so quickly, right? So there was a thing, and it was like the most dreadful thing. You were jamming to your song, enjoying your music, and then all of a sudden you would hear this like almost like a crumpled paper, and your heart would just sink, and you'd be like, no, and you would race to the boombox and stop it, eject, and sometimes it would just like open like this, and you knew that was really bad when that happened. Pull the tape out slowly, because you don't want to rip the tape and it's all, you know, a mess, a tangled mess. I meant to do the tangled mess on this, but I wanted it to be the happy part of this experience. So the quickest way, after you detangle things very slowly and very carefully and painstakingly, you made sure it faced the right way when you're trying to wind it back, because that's what the pencil was for. You would put a pencil through one of those hoops, and it had like little, I don't know, indentations or whatever, so it fit when you put a pen or a pencil, it wouldn't go past a certain point, so that you could spin the tape and it would wind it back for you. I always did it the wrong way first and be like, darn it, switched. And then when you play the tape back, sometimes you'd hear like a little skip, and you'd be like, ah, that's the part. That action was so common. Like, people be walking around talking to friends on the phone, like just with tapes on a pen or a pencil, just spinning it around, and no one questioned it, because everybody experienced this and everybody knew when this happens. They were like, ah, the solidarity, the heartache, we all knew. The last image that I put on this page is who I like to call Jennifer, the workout guru. It's not her name. I just didn't want to call her Jane Fonda, because Jane Fonda is who I remember the most. But in the 80s, man, these workout videos, they were everywhere. That's why people started wearing leg warmers as a fashion statement, because there's leg warmers in every single video. Leotard looking tights, very like shiny and bright. I tamed the colors, but I wanted her to have all the colors, because that's how the 80s feel to me. It was every single color, the turquoises, the bright green, bright pinks, the bright purples, yellows, and it was always oranges, like all of them. You had to wear every single color on you at all times. It felt like I had to include this. My mom had a whole collection of Jane Fonda tapes. At one point she had us do the workouts with her when we first left. When we left Germany, we moved to Ethiopia, and it was like 91, late 91. I remember all of us having like wanting to do this video. I don't know if she made us or if we wanted to, but somehow we all ended up in the living room like doing all the things. Okay, my camera died. That's my cue that it's time to end this video. But yeah, I just remember in my pre-teens, maybe between 11 and 12, doing a lot of these workout videos with my mom in our living room. When I was coming up with it, and I asked on Instagram what people remembered of the 80s, or what are some things that really screamed the 80s at them. So much of this was there, like the leg warmers, the cassette tapes, Pac-Man, like maybe 6 people said Pac-Man, roller skates, Atari, a few people said Atari, and then a few of them, as people gave me suggestions, I remembered things, and I was like, oh yeah, and there was also that thing, and oh, there was also that thing. And I associate my memories to either the best or worst times in life, but I choose to always portray like the funnest ones, like the positive memories, the fun memories, the things that really made me laugh. And it's interesting because you forget as you get older a lot of things, but sometimes just one little thing can remind you. So, you know, just seeing someone skating down the street, it will take me back. It'll take me back so quickly. So I hope that these do this for you, because that's really what I want them to do. Is I want them to take you back to a really fun time, or fun memories, or the whole thing with the cassette tapes. Like, I still remember how that felt, just hearing that crinkly sound. I'm sure everybody feels that when they hear me talk about this. So if I took you back, I've got a little guy back there who came to to call me. It's time to go get food. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked the memories that I shared and you enjoyed the paintings. If you're part of my process and if you followed along on live streams, thank you so much for keeping me company, and also for all the suggestions and all the votes and everybody's responses on Instagram. If you were one of them, thank you. You really helped to put this together the way that, you know, you helped my brain decide on what to choose. There is one more that I haven't painted yet, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to before this video is due to go up. So if I don't, on the next part where I do the flip through of this journal, you'll see it and I'll talk about it then. I remember that when I was really, I'm gonna say maybe like 6 or 7, I remember my dad asking me one time what I want to be when I grow up, and I was like, Madonna. He was just like, okay. One of the main reasons why I immediately thought of her when I said I was gonna do the 80s, she was like the first thing on my mind. We watched her Barcelona concert, and I think it's the Barcelona 1987 or 1989 concert, I can't remember, but this is when she still had the short curly hair, very bleached blonde at the time. And I, till this day, no shame, okay, till this day, I knew all the outfit changes, I know all the songs, all the intonations, all the sections where she's like talking to the audience, like before the final song, which she did, Holiday was the final song she did in that concert. Before that, she tells the audience how all of them have been working really hard to give them a good show, and now they all look a mess, and she's like messing up her hair, and she's like, I don't know, does anybody have a comb? And she says this, she does this whole thing in Italian, and I'm literally so impressed. So I watched this concert over and over and over. Like, I'm sure my family was sick of it. Like, I am sick of my kids watching certain things over and over, and I'm just like, oh my god, we're watching Mario movie again. It's good, but I mean, again. So anyway, yeah, so I feel like I have to include her in somewhere. So if I get a chance to paint her before I edit this video, I'll have b-roll, I'll have footage to show you what I ended up painting. But if you want to have something of this for yourself, and you don't want to wait for it to come to my shop, again, you can join me on Patreon, and on the snail mail tier, I send it to you in the mail. And this is open internationally for the same rate. In the next few weeks, I will be doing a new video to talk about what Patreon is, how my Patreon is currently, because I've changed it a bit. I feel like I do this video every year. I don't, but it's changed way more than it used to be, and I don't think I ever made a video to kind of describe the current direction, which I think is going to be the forever direction now that I know what I want and what I'm doing. So it'll be coming up in a few weeks. Next week, my hope is to share a big giant haul from when I traveled to Manchester earlier in the year. So if you are looking forward to seeing that, please subscribe so you don't miss it when I release that video. But it is a pretty long, chunky one, so I didn't want to put it back to back with another chunky video, because last week's was pretty big and this week I want it to be short, but we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you loved this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was great to just go down memory lane and talk to you a little bit about what I painted and where those painting ideas came from. So if you like this format, please let me know. I'm still just kind of trying to figure out the best way to show you what I do. So sometimes it's more just my hands showing, sometimes it's me talking like this, sometimes it might just be like a voiceover what I'm painting. So if any of those sound exciting or interesting, let me know. The next time that I do something a little bit like this, I will talk about my memories of Italy, and because I made a lot of paintings for that, and I've never been to Italy, but a lot of those are attached to something or someone or a movie or a person. So it'll probably be also a lot of fun to talk about. So hope you come back, and that you enjoyed this. Give it a like if you did. I have no idea what you can leave me in the comments, but just leave a comment if you made it through here. Say hi, tell me what your favorite part is, tell me what your favorite painting was from this collection, and if you were you around in the 80s, did you experience any of the things that I shared? Let me know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.